Welcome to Winkle Shady Nook. How's everybody doing? My wife picked up a table made out of pine. I'm going to take the hardware off of it, and I'm going to be stripping on my table. I forgot to turn the microphone on the camera, so I'm having to narrate this. It was a lot easier to talk when I was doing this. That way I knew what I was doing. Now I'm watching the thing and I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. All the marks on the drawers that were on the table. That's the bottom shelf. I already took the legs off of it, took it apart. There's a lot of scratches on it. She said she got it from a motel across the parking lot from where she works. The guy she works for owns a motel and the place she works. And the laundromat and another hotel in town. Well, I guess I didn't take the legs off. I'm taking them off now. 2 little screws on each leg with an Allen wrench. They come off really easy. One leg off. You can see all the nicks and scratches on the ends of the leg. All the wood was in really good condition though. Here we're going to get ready to do some stripping. Years ago, I did a lot of pianos, refinishing pianos, the boxes on the piano and working on the insides of them. The stripper that I got from Walmart. I normally get stripper from Fleet Farm. I don't remember the name of it. It's a pinkish orangish stuff, water soluble. this stuff is water soluble. And it's a gel. That one little can didn't do the whole job. I ran out and I had to go get some stuff from Fleet Farm, some stripper, and I didn't look real close and it wasn't water soluble. And cleanup, you had to use paint thinner or lacquer thinner, and it's a lot messier than this stuff. This stuff is real easy to work with. Although this stuff dries out really fast. The stuff that I used to use, you can put it on and leave it on for 12, 24 hours and it'll you'll still be able to scrape it off. This stuff, you gotta almost take it off right away. You put it on, let it sit for a couple minutes and scrape it off. This stuff come with a spray bottle. And I used it on this leg, but after this leg I stopped using it. I just poured it on. That's one of those cheap paintbrushes, about $1.29. That's all I ever use. And I don't clean it out every time either because it stays soft. Just use it until I'm done with it and then throw it away. Eventually I'm going to start talking on this video on because I remembered to turn my microphone on, and then at the end of it I forgot to turn the microphone on again, so I'll have to narrate some of that stuff down there too towards the end of the video. Let me take you step by step. And now that I've let that stuff sit a little bit, I'm going to scrape some of it off. Comes off real easy. The first one I scraped off was harder than the second one. You'll see here in a little bit I'm using my brush on it. Got a small plastic brush that works just fine without scraping it. You can loosen it up with the brush and just wipe it off with a rag. So the first leg took longer than the rest of them. You know, once I got the idea of using this kind of stripper, I didn't have to work so hard to get it off. I can tell you right now, if you do this outside, you can use your garden hose to just rinse it off. Use your brush, put it on with the brush, and use your little plastic brush, and kind of like a wire brush, only plastic. That way you don't damage the wood. You'll see here in a minute I'm going to be using it. brush to get the stuff off works a lot easier. By the time I got done with this table, I was just dipping the brush in the stripper and using it. Another stripper that I bought that's you have to clean up with a paint thinner. It's almost like the stuff we used to use years ago. It's stuff we used years ago. That stuff would kill you. You had to wear gloves. You had to have ventilated rooms, fans on. Just inhaling it would make you sick. This isn't too bad. Just a little messy. People are going to ask, how come I'm not wearing gloves? Well, I never wear gloves. The more you use your hands, the tougher they get. I had to go get my little scrubbing brush. They're trying to get that off with that scraper is a pain in the you-know-what. But it works. You get the stuff out of the cracks. I keep saying to myself, why am I using this scraper when I should be using the brush? You notice down on the bottom of that leg, there's a little damage down there, and you see in a little bit here when I get to it, I'll explain it. But I use bleach to lighten that up. And I went and found my wider scraper for the bigger stuff. See how easy that comes off? It just comes off real easy. Just take and wash it off with water. Take it to the kitchen sink with the little scrub brush I got and wash it off. You can see the difference in the one I did and the one that I have to do. Well, that's the Clorox bleach cleaner that I used. I sprayed it down on the end of that thing and sprayed the whole thing with it just to clean it up. Just let it sit, let it dry. And before you go to put the polyurethane on it, use a rag with some lacquer thin on it to wipe it off.
You know, I forgot to turn the microphone on when we first started,
I can turn this
I'm gonna have to narrate it. In the beginning. One thing I found out is this stuff works pretty fast. Like, boom. You put it on and it soaks in and the stuff flips right off pretty quick. Here's the other drawer I did. I don't know if you can see that. Lighting. I finished all the legs. You're nice and clean. Now this stuff is ready to come off of here already. Before I was waiting a little bit. On these flat surfaces because it comes up so fast. With that sprayer, you only get a little bit on at a time. You just do it a couple times until it comes up. So that's already dry. Take a layer off at a time. I won't even use that spray bottle when I get to the bigger stuff. I'll just pour it on. can tell on the edges where the first layer came off. I can tell by looking at it, it just comes right up to the top like that. So far I've only gone through, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, only gone through, I don't know, 2/3 of a bottle for all this stuff. One more time, see what happens. While that's sitting, I'm gonna go get my brush. That helps break it up. Going while it's still wet. I'm going to take over and to the sink and wash it off with a brush, and we'll be back. We'll let this dry a little bit. You can see where I cleaned it off here, right here, where it's darker means that there's a little bit of stain left in there up in this part, so we'll put one more coat on there and get it off. Unless the water soaked in the wood. I think we're gonna let that dry first. It's not completely dry yet. Once it's dried out, it's gonna look like this one. Well, I'm going to clean this up a little bit and get ready for the big piece. There's the pieces I've got done so far. We'll be back. Okay. What I've got here now is bottom shelf of this table. This don't look too bad, but we gotta make it match. We'll do a section at a time. I don't know if you can see that on camera because this is so clear. Maybe it's showing up wet. And I got the other top table underneath it. I don't care if I get any of this stuff on it. Because we're going to strip that last. Enough on here to do this section. This stuff is already coming up to the surface. Yeah, I wonder if it even says on here how long you're supposed to sit. The writing's so small I can't read it. a bit. That's all the stuff I got off at her the first time. I left my brush in the other room. This is coming off real easy. Get the edges real good. I'm not going to worry about the cracks that much. They end up darker anyway. Now I'll scrape in the other direction. I'm gonna go get a bucket of water and a rag. I will return. Alright, we got my water. Just use lukewarm water. Hot, lukewarm. Get that out of that crack. Now these are two different kinds of wood. This wood and this wood are two different things. They must have glued this to it. This is coming off a whole lot different. Stain and filler. I have no idea what that wood is yet. If it even is wood. Could be pressboard. And they just stained it. Brush cleaned out here a little bit. Yeah, that's not wood. That's something else. Either that or they got a ton of stain on it. Paint. They painted it. So we're gonna have to lift that up and do that differently. It's all paint coming out. Which means paint takes twice as long to get off. Down the cracks. Yeah, we got the cracks clean. Now switch to a clean rag. Now you guys are starting to get the idea. Just keep doing this over and over and over until it gets clean. This is actually pretty easy compared to paint. around the edge out here is going to take a little bit of time to get that off. That means my bottom table's got the same stuff on it, or the top of the table. But it's looking pretty. It's looking pretty. Alright, I'm going to finish this up. We'll have to go around these edges a couple times with that stuff. I'll get some boards and put them under there and lift it up so I can get this edge. Either that, or in order to make it match, we'll have to restain it again to a darker color or something. Alright, I'll be back. Well, hello, I'm back. I ran out of the stuff I bought at Walmart. This quick strip, which is water soluble, which cleans up really nice. And I went over to Fleet Farm and I didn't find the stuff I normally get. I picked up. Now this stuff is not water soluble, it's a liquid, it's not a gel. I don't know if you can see that in there. We've got just a little bit more to go. I've probably got more liquid in here than I need. This stuff has to be cleaned up with paint thinner or lacquer thinner. You can see I got the whole table done. You got to work with it right away too. If you don't, it don't come off. And it takes about 3 layers of this liquid to get it to come off. You gotta make sure you got a lot of rags around when you do use this stuff. Because I had taken a layer off it already. This is only taking 2 to get it off of there. Just one more time. Cloth down in there and drag it through that crack. And that should do it. table's made out of 3 different kinds of wood. That bottom shelf is made out of press board. The top of the part of the table is pine, and the legs are some kind of hardwood. And I'm thinking oak. And the pine that's on the top of it is a veneer. Underneath it is pine that they glued together. I don't know if you can see that. Where they glued it together. And that's the table without the drawer in it. I got the drawer sitting over here. I got some new hardware that matches the hardware on the rest of my house that I'll put on there. So what I'm going to do is take my electric sander and sand off the top a little bit.
Hopefully this thing is going to do what I want it to do. This is where I forgot to turn the microphone on again. So now I'm using the one from my
And then we'll put polyurethane on it.
And there's my flat sander. I don't know how much of this I actually showed. Anyway, I've got 120 grit sandpaper on there. And there's a bunch of scratches on the top. I'll sand away and kind of feather them in. I'm showing you the paper. And the scratches. Hard to see. Well, at least we don't have to listen to the sander when I turn it on. You break the surface of the wood so that when you put the polyurethane on, it's got something to stick to. I didn't sand any of the legs or any of the, or the bottom part of the table, the shelf. Now we're getting ready to put our first coat of polyurethane on there. Took a vacuum and vacuumed up all the sawdust, and then took a damp rag and wiped her clean. Years ago when I was painting cars, they've got this cloth called a tack cloth. It's got beeswax on it. You can get it in paint departments. If you can't find it, just ask for it. It's called tack cloth. Now here we go with the first coat. The longest part of doing this kind of work is watching the paint dry. I probably got a half an hour or so of stripping. And I don't know why this part is before when I was stripping the top of this table, but it is. Somehow it got in the wrong place. That's alright. I'm not going to take the video apart to try to figure it out right now. We'll just come back to it. I'm still getting used to editing video. I had them numbered before I put them up. I think there was like 15 different takes. And I'm sure there was 6 or 7 different audio songs that I put on here. So this is the longest video I've done since I started this. Well, I don't know why my video stopped on me, but it stopped on me, so something went crazy here. What I'm going to do is stop the recording and try again, see if I can find my place here. Oh, I don't know why I did that. But the video part of this recording just stopped on me. Hopefully it's going to keep moving now. Here we are, getting ready to put another coat on. That's a scuff pad. You can get them in the paint department. Different sizes of grit, like sandpaper, real fine or heavy. It was just buff that off a little bit. Take the shine off of it. That way the next coat of polyurethane will stick real good. Someplace in here is the part where I actually stripped its top off. I got my video files mixed up. Hopefully it's still on here. If not, you guys get the idea as far as taking the finish off. I use a damp cloth here to wipe off the dust. That's a $3 paintbrush, and that's gloss polyurethane. You can get it in flat, you can get it in satin. Satin, I like satin. I think I'm showing it. By the time I painted the legs and the bottom shelf, and now the second coat on the top, that I only went through about a quarter can of polyurethane. The whole table only took about a half a quart of polyurethane. So I got enough left over for another project. And because I bought a gallon of stripper the last time. I've got enough stripper to do another project. One of the things I don't know if I talked about in part of this video is that shelf that's on the bottom that I showed in the beginning is made out of sawdust glued together. I don't know if they call it press board or what, but it wasn't pine. That part of the video may come up yet. This is the second coat of polyurethane I put on there. Now it's time to wait. Hurry up and wait. Make sure I got the other edge. Starting to look pretty. So I always do long strokes going toward the direction of the grain of the wood. Well, this is the third coat already. So somehow, when I put this thing together, the last videos got stuck in the middle here. Like I said, I'm not going to fix it. You guys get the idea. Wait a minute, I don't know what I'm talking about. I skipped all that stuff with the audio, not the video. That's before this. That's okay. I'm losing it. This is the end. Everybody's gonna wonder what the heck was I talking about. So we're getting towards the end of the video here. This is the last coat going on. Everybody knows that I'm into brass and copper, so I got a box full, or a 5-gallon bucket full of brass knobs and handles that match my kitchen and my bathroom. And I know I've got some brass ones, so we'll put brass on here. Get long strokes. That way as the paint settles down, it'll feather itself together and come smooth. If you want it real thick so the kids can scratch through it again, put another coat on. Well, there we are, all dry, getting ready to put the knobs on. There it is. All done. It's pretty. Matches my walls. My whole house is pine. Well, there we are, coming to the end. If you guys like this kind of stuff, please subscribe and hit that like button. And if you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. I'll take questions. I'll leave some stuff in the description. I think I'm going to come out with our Winkle Shady Nook hoodies and t-shirts again. So thanks for watching. Everybody, have a good day. Bye.